it's Ilj. Welcome to my show. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet one of these can coolers. It's very easy. It has a handle. The stitch we're using is half double crochet and slip stitch. If you're unfamiliar with these stitches, please refer to my other video linked below on how to crochet basic crochet stitches. This pattern is great for beginners and intermediates. It's pretty easy. Here's another example of what we'll be doing today. We'll be starting at the bottom, working in the round, and moving our way up to the top. Hopefully it makes sense and you guys like my video and can like and subscribe to other videos and see more of my projects. And without further ado, let's get started. To start with our crochet can cooler, I have here a size 4 hook. It seems like a pretty good size in my experience, and just a standard acrylic worsted weight yarn. We're going to start with a slip knot. Just like that. You can pull the end. Insert your hook. We're going to start with 4 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do a slip stitch back into this first stitch to close a very small loop. So slip stitch again as we're just pulling the yarn through our stitch and directly back through that first loop. We can pull our ends tight here. We're going to be working directly into the center here. It's a little hard to see at first, but make sure you go right in that center here. And we'll start with 1 chain. And now we'll do 9 half double crochets right into that center space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we will close this round with a slip stitch in our first stitch here. We're going in this one. That's just a chain stitch we did. We're going a slip stitch into this first stitch here. Just going to go into the back 2 loops and slip. We're going to begin our next round with chain 1. And now we're going to continue with half double crochet. We're going to be working, here I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. We're going to be working into these back 2 loops. So I'll grab my hook. We're going in just the back 2. Kind of see there's 1 and 2 there. Half double crochet. We're going to do that twice in each stitch, adding up to 18 stitches because we had 9 before and we're doing 2 in each one, so that's 18. And continue like that around the circle. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Great, because we have 1 more stitch here. Do our last 2 half doubles. And we will close our round with a slip stitch into our first stitch. Make sure you skip that chain stitch. We're going directly to the first stitch. Slip, and that is the end of our second round. Next round is very similar. We're going to start with chain 1. Now the sequence we're going to be going in, we're going to do 1 single crochet in one, and then 2 in the next. 1 and then 1 after that, 2 and the 1 after that. We'll start with 1 in our first stitch, and 2 into the next one. Again, we're just working into those back 2 or top 2 loops there. So we'll do 2 in that one, 1, another one in that same space, 2. Next stitch 1. Next stitch 2. So we're increasing every other stitch. We're increasing 1, which should leave us with a total of 27 stitches at the end of our round. And I will meet you back there. We're at the end of our round here. I'm going to count my stitches just to make sure I have exactly 27. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 26. I'll just squeeze one more in the end there for 27. And we will do a slip stitch in that first stitch to close our round. There we have the bottom portion of our can cooler. You'll notice it is slightly convex in shape. That is good, kind of like the bottom of a can. Now we will begin the sides going up the can. We will start with chain 1. I'm actually going to turn our work around and go back the other direction. The reason for that is because we're going to start building up our sides, and I really want to keep this convex shape we have going on here. So we were here. I'm literally just turning the work around and going back the other way with half double crochet stitches, and we're just going to go into this front loop now. So I'm going to wrap just this one loop here and do a half double crochet. Same thing in the next one. And we're just going to do 1 stitch per 1 stitch now. We're sticking with 27 stitches all the way around. Oops. Again, we're just picking up just this front loop here. Now that we have 27 stitches, we're going to close our round with a slip stitch. So, slip. To begin the next round, we will chain 1, and we'll be doing again 27 half double crochets around the circle. I'm going to be working into the back 2 stitches now. It should be 1 and 2 on your hook. For 1 stitch, again, just the back or the top 2, depending on how you're holding it. And continue on with your half double crochet around the circle like so. You'll notice a little ridge here. That's good. That means the outside will not have one. Awesome. You can kind of see the shape here on the bottom. We have that little ridge for the bottom of the can, so it sits nicely. I'm just going to keep going around. At the end of each round, I always count my stitches again just to make sure that I'm being consistent. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 26, 27. Perfect. So we can do a slip stitch now. And our first stitch from that round to close it. We'll continue again, same thing for this next round, chain 1, and keep doing your half double crochet around and around, and closing out your rounds with that last slip stitch. Here we are again after our third round of our edges. You can see where the can bottom is going to sit, and it's just going to keep going up. We're going to do 15 rows. So we just did 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 12 more until we've gotten to 15 rounds doing the same pattern. It will make a perfect cylinder. So continue there and I'll meet you at 15 rows. Here we are after 15 rows of 27 in the round. This is what your project should look like. The inside could look a little different. You should have your ridges on the inside and none on the outside. Let's make sure that it fits our can here. California represent. It might be a little tight at first. This is what it looks like on our can. It is going to stretch a little bit, so it doesn't look like it's covering the whole can yet. It will stretch out a little bit over time. You can kind of see, center it at the bottom where it kind of molds with our can. Could probably even squeeze another row around here depending on what your gauge is when you stitch. What I mean by that is how many stitches per inch you're doing, also how tight or loose you are crocheting. That actually was a little bit tighter for me than normal. Usually 15 is good, but I might add one more round here. Okay, so I just added one more round, totaling in at 16 rounds. From the time we got to 27 here at the bottom, I went straight up. Let's see how that looks now. It looks a little better. Yeah. I was crocheting a little bit tighter than I normally do apparently. Usually I just do 15 rows, but you know, even if 14 rows might be good for you if you're, you know, not crocheting as tight as I am. Maybe 14 rows is good for you. Just leave a little bit room for stretch. And now we can put our handle on. It's super easy. It's going to take like 5 minutes to put this handle on and then we're done. So to start our handle, we'll start right where we left off. And depending on how thick you want your handle to be, I usually do about 6 stitches. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. And instead of continuing, I am just going to chain 1, turn my work, and go back and do 6 more. 1, 2, 5, 6. And again, chain 1, turn your work, And just keep continuing doing 6 stitches back and forth. So here I have now done 12 rows back and forth of 6 half double crochet stitches. And you can see that's our handle right there, and that looks like a good length right to meet up at the bottom. This is going to stretch just a little bit after some wear and tear, so if it seems a little tight at first, it might actually just be perfect. So again, I just did 12 rows here. That seems to be a good number. And now we're ready to sew on our handle. Give yourself maybe like a foot of yarn, maybe not even that much, maybe like 6 to 8 inches, and just give it a little snip. And what I'm going to do at the end here is I'm just going to wrap and pull through that last loop, just so pull it tight so that's secure, that's not coming out. Now we're just going to attach it to the bottom here. Make sure it is straight and line it up. You can kind of line up the edge like that so you see where it is. And I'm going to be working right into this ridge down here. So I'm just going to line it up. And then from here, you pretty much just sew this. The way I sew mine on is I go in through this part and this part also. Grab the slack and pull it through all the way. And bring it back to the other side. Again, insert your hook through the second stitch. And the next stitch here, pull it all the way through. Pull it back. Going into the third stitch now, and the next. Just keep doing the same thing till you've gone through all 6 stitches in your handle. 5, 6. And there you have your can cooler. You just need to tie off this end. I'm going to bring the string to the inside by going in with my hook in here. Just kind of feeling around, coming up, and pulling that into the inside. And then we can flip this inside out. And we have 2 strings. I am just going to kind of stitch this end a little bit closer to the center. And once next to that one, I'm just going to tie these 2 ends together. Double knot. I always triple knot just to be safe. And then we can snip. And there you have it. We'll put our can in. See how it looks. It looks awesome. If you guys found this video helpful and you have an awesome new can cooler, please like and subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on my newest projects. And feel free to comment if you have any suggestions on projects you want to see or improvements for my videos. That'd be great. And hopefully you guys have an awesome can cooler now that you can share with your friends and make some for parties, and people will love them. Thanks for watching.